You're breaking up a lot, Andy. I couldn't catch that. But okay, initiative. Let's get through the intro real quick. So previously, uh, you guys had all received visions from that like psychedelic frog a while back, and Mikhail had had a vision of him in the past sending off a messenger bird with a note on it that the vision showed Karth is ripe. But as more and more of your memories slowly come back, you feel like there was more to the message than just that. And like there might have been another side to the note that wasn't shown in the vision, but you still can't quite remember. To top it off, Jack had also had a vision of the Uraki storming his mentor slash stepfather Devonian, storming his home, killing Devonian, and taking any valuables, including a chest from the basement. Um, that you guys all kind of know that Jack has been searching for, along with searching for Scarlet. Mikhail, you'd also had a vision of the chief, a new chief that you didn't recognize, bearing the Iraqi symbol, leaving the war council of what you believe to be the Free Tribe sieging the city. And he decried a bunch of insults and informed another orc of the tribe that you kind of recognized, but he didn't seem, you don't remember him being an important person to be next to the chief. Um, and the chief saying that they'd be leaving the siege. Uh, directly last time, you guys had asked Sutkafet the whereabouts of the trident pieces, as well as Valix. Somehow the trident must have some kind of anti-scrying something surrounding it, or it's so powerful it obscured Sutkafet's vision of it. He could see it, but he didn't know where it was. And one is on another plane, one is on an island somewhere. Another is on the coast. Um, and Valix, he told you that was still in the city, and you guys kind of decided, hey, let's go take care of Valix as soon as possible. You guys went and got a bunch of gifts from the king, as well as the symbol of Kagar's throne, some tabards bearing his symbol. Afterwards, you found Gutwad had accidentally killed the pimp he was guarding, and being hungry, had eaten some of his limbs. Uh, you freed him from the guards, learned some of Gutwad's background, being an outcast his whole life in one form or another, and was kind of fed up being left alone and defend for himself. And like I had said, you kind of notice that Gutwad has a lot of gear, weapons, and armor he didn't previously have when you got to the city. And without money, it's a little curious where he might have gotten them. The next day, you went and preemptively attacked the basement where Valix was held up with a few of the other um, servants, retainers, whatever, below Nagakuta's estate. And pretty much killed everybody but the last person. And Mikhail, with the rush of adrenaline slowing, Mikhail, you kind of notice that this person who surrendered is actually a woman in the garb of a cleric, and she's got many similar traits to Ashinda, like she might be from Nihon. Her brunette hair is kind of cut short in a short bob, with numerous earrings down one ear, and she continues to beg you not to kill her as she gets down on her knees and starts to cry. And that is where we pick up. He is covered in um, the Yes, he's covered in the demon ichor, and as this woman continues to sob, she's, "Please, let me, let me heal Alex. He's saved my life so many times. I, I can't bear the thought of him dying like this." And she's kind of sobbing at your feet, Michael. But everybody, all the dead bodies are still covered in the demon ichor. Yes. Tyrael has a single cask. There are about 10 doses left. There's only one cask. He had two, but the other one was left in the prison. So you guys use there were four bodies that were left over. You guys use enough to cover them and clean them off. As you pour the holy water on it, the demon ichor evaporates and dissipates off the bodies. As soon as pretty much that happens off of Valix, the woman kind of runs over and kind of falls on his body, still sobbing, and you see this, little glow of divine light as she heals him, and his eyes slowly pop open. So you guys take some of the. I figured you were going to say the one from Bond, the first Bond.
Are you playing with Papa? Are you having a turn? Do you want to come out?
I do not.
Okay. Now let's close the door and go to bed.
He just spits at you.
No.
I could care not what death comes for me. Life is pain and death is release. I have no dealings with the Shizukaru. That was Nubius's, or not Nubius, Nagakuda's wheelhouse. I brought him the targets and necessities to acquire the creatures he sought. Sometimes I would give him people that might not need to get out of the way, but. And he looks over to you, Benefisto. I cannot stand druids. Their filth pollutes this world. Any chance I got, I would have one of them taken. She she sobs. She's still like kind of terrified. You could tell she's not really put in this situation often, or at all. It seems like um, she and her accent's so thick. It's kind of hard to understand her. But Andy, you can tell that her accent's so thick, but because it's the same accent you have, you understand her a lot easier. Um, she kind of talks about how she really, after she left Nihon, and she was hired to follow these hunters and keep them alive. And she kind of fell in love with this Valix guy because she hates druids as well. uh, yes, yes, please. Of course, yeah. And she immediately, without even, she immediately does. Go ahead. And identify how you. Oh, thank you. Um, she does start to cast a minor healing spell. It's a 1d8. You can take that. It's +1, or I can roll a d8. Your choice, Andy. Do you want to take the 7, or do you want me to roll a d8 +1? Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of it too. Um, Haveron, James. Yeah. As well, Tyrael uh, needs to make his heal check for Ju. First aid, treat wounds. Oh, only 10 minutes. No, wrong one. Treat deadly wounds. Uh, the visions that you had seen Valix in um, was him leading a group of hunters to capture a Goralin. Uh, the only other vision that deals with Benefisto would be Haveron's body being uh, like rotting on a post in a Cyclops tribe or something. Um, sorry, Andy. Tyrael does not heal you anything. Say that again, James. What did you say? Yeah, maybe I'm thinking the video is just screwing us up. So, um, Okay, so just a quick recap, Andy. Okay, yeah, then that's what it is. It's the video is just too much. Um, so just a quick recap. Just up top, there's a little camera, microphone. Yep. Yeah. All right. Cool. There was a widespread influx of grave dust a couple of years ago. It was a drug to have rumored to have been created by druids. It pushed the city towards collapse with just addiction and what it did to people. The the death of Shishaku Ichigo. Shishaku is a title for the advisor to the emperor. So Shishaku Ichigo was the previous advisor, and under his advisement, the nation really just prospered. After his death, it continued to go even lower, and then the subsequent loss of the samurai after they went into one of the poor districts of Nihon or Umikawa. It's the Borju district, kind of a just drug infested source of some disease that seems to be linked with the drug. Um, and after they went in, none of them came out. They were all killed somehow, and it's kind of shady, not knowing how or why. Um, After that power vacuum was taken, she left Nihon when the Shizukaru openly began to export grave dust from the port. And three of the large dojos, the Shotu dojo, a weapon focused dojo, the Kabofan, a monk barehanded karate esque dojo, and the Ninjun dojo, kind of a stealth and subterfuge dojo. They're vying for the right hand police function for the emperor, but it's like three warring tribes within the city, and they're not even helping police the uh, Shizukaru that are kind of running rampant in the city. Um, and she left Nihon, came, joined Valix as a mercenary basically, and fell in love with him because of their kind of combined hatred for druids, since she kind of sees them as the root source of why Nihon is falling into ruin. Um, yes, yes. And so you overhear all of this as Michael's kind of talking to her, and they're going back and forth. Is she just kind of reminisces in a very sad tone about Nihon, like it's a lost child, or an old friend that is dead, kind of thing. Um, is there anything else you guys are want to do? So Valix is kind of just still sneering, tied up in the corner. So you pull out your bone club that you have built of just this hatred for those who have played a part in Haveron's death, and now corruption in death, and just your hatred. You just take this club and start wailing on his arms as he's tied to this chair, and you just hear this bones cracking and snapping as you break his shoulder, his elbows, his wrists. If you find any solid part of his arms, you're just crushing him. You're pretty sure you got a couple of ribs in there too, as he starts like gasping and spits up blood a couple of times. Go ahead and roll an attack with damage. He's tied up, so you just yeah, because he's you're not trying. Yeah, you just need. I just need the damage because she did heal him. So are you killing him or not? At the same time, like you, just these big shocks of electricity burst over him as he just tightens up in pain. And you break the skin in a couple of places, and as you turn around to the rest of the group, there's blood splatter on your face. All right. So you guys uh, take this woman. Go ahead. One of them, yeah. So you take the woman and Benefisto. You rough-handedly grab uh, the guy Valix, and you guys start just marching them up to Dawnspire Keep. You're going to the king. Okay. There are two guards at the top of the stairs as you guys bring them up out of there. As he said, as long as he's within your group and he's not spotted alone, they won't touch him. But if he's spotted by himself, the guards. He's more than willing and all too happy to like put on this tabard. As he does, he looks up at you, Michael. Are you gonna put it on too? Oh, okay. So you start carrying got one on your shoulders, and he, almost like a little child, he starts like as he's going along, he's like bobbing his head, and Shinda, you notice just Gutwad's tail kind of like swishing back and forth behind him underneath the tabard, almost in like this happy cadence as him and Mikhail walk down the street. A very odd, peculiar pair. The guards at the top of the stairs, they're all too happy that you guys had apprehended whoever was left alive. Glad they don't have to worry about whoever was below. And they say, there's a city guard station not too far that we can either bring him there or you can bring him to the king. They kind of leave it to you as they kind of you guys are you can tell you're starting to get at least your name known to more than just a couple of parts of the city. Sure. Okay. All right. So you guys drop off Valix at the guard shack. Benefisto, as you leave Valix behind, there's this strange feeling you get with the breaking of his arms. It's almost like this resurgence of the hatred that you had towards the people you believed to have killed and been involved with Haveron's death. Um, it that same feeling of hatred and just anger starts to resurge. Go ahead, Andy. That yeah, they seem to be more directly involved. Valix would find them and then let Nagakuta know who he needed out of the way in order to capture these animals. And these druids typically didn't really ever stand in the way. Um, but this Haveron seems to not have wanted to get off his land. But Benefisto, with this resurgence of hatred, I need you to mark on your character sheet 1 point of corruption. um, but so you guys all kind of notice Benefisto just seems a little brooding right now. But it's still early morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning. The markets are starting to kind of open up. With the slowdown of the war outside the walls, the city is seemed to take a breath, even though it's almost held because of the danger with all the rising of the dead. Um, so it's kind of like the war's done. Shit, what's going on? And you can kind of tell there's like a release in tension as far as people staring at the walls, but there's a lot more nervousness within the city as everyone looks to each other now. Um, what would you guys like to do?
Logan, you forgot your dice. Logan, come here. You forgot your dice. Come here.
Okay. Um, Yes, the halls of knowledge. When you guys get there, there's lots of people coming in. Each one of the priesthoods for all the major religions have booths and large vats and casks set up outside the halls of knowledge, and they are offering holy water to anyone and everyone to try and stem this undead scourge, as well as healing to people. When you guys come up, they see the king's banner on Gutwad. A little curious as to the creature that it's on, and you guys each get as many holy water vials as you need, um, up to a maximum of 4 apiece, and they also fill up Tyrael's cask to the 15 uses that he had before, and he keeps that on Uther. Um, and seeing Ashinda and how Ashinda's pretty badly beaten. I mean, he's had his both arms dislocated. He's cut hardcore, and even underneath his armor, he looks a little haggard, kind of walking poorly. And he's going to restart. Okay, so for new, um, oh, cool. Inventory. Um, everyone who's not fully healed, go ahead and add 9 points of hit points to your character as the priests heal, and Ashinda, 3 priests come and try and heal you. Um, and yeah, go ahead and add 27 points. Yes. Yeah, no, you're you're breaking up a lot on me too, Andy. I sometimes I can't catch half of what you're saying. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and just add the hit points to you, Andy. Yeah, I just did. And with the priests here, they're also offering healing potions. So whatever healing potions you want to buy, go ahead and do that. Um, yes, and that's a 2d8 plus 3 for cure moderate. Yeah. Here. So, Mikhail, you were told by the orc that you interviewed in the prison that the Uraki tribe had gone down the southwestern coastline from Castigan. Uh, the ruins of Eladris, where Scarlet is known to be right now, is like south, like a couple days south. Uh, Michael's looking for his tribe, the Iraqi horde. They had left the um, Free Tribe War Council that's besieging Castigan, and they had traveled southwest along the coast. And Mikhail, you know that the Uraki, um, they're like, I guess, kind of like Vikings, where they get on warships, and that's how they do a lot of raiding. Um, and so they typically stay close to the coast so that they can leave, but their camp is also mobile, so it's not like they have a village that is there. Their villages with their boats. So um, if you can find one, you can find all the Oraki right now. Was your guess? Totes. All right, so you guys go ahead. Yeah, it's 1d8 plus one plus three. Just double check. Yes, 2d8 plus three. Something that I did forget. Something that I did forget to mention: those bandages that were in the loot. I think there's 12 of them. That allows for recharging a healing kit for 6 charges by adding in the extra bandages. Um, Tyrell has Tyrell has 2 healing kits, and one of them is down 5 charges right now.
He's telling me the newest stinky healing kit. His name's Stinky. Come on. Come on, you have
Oh
friends.
no, I used one on you, so I could use all 6. All right, so Tyrell will take all of those. All right, and I've got 2, so for now, everybody should have one. So it's one of those things where if somebody's dying, that'd be a really quick and easy way to stop them from dying.
What's his name? Daddy?
Yeah,
Stinky? His name's Stinky?
S- stabilize. Yeah, you can. Yeah, it takes an hour to do like what do they call it? Treat deadly wounds. You restore hit points within 24 hours of injury once per day. Tyrael failed, um, and you gain one hit point per level of the creature. Yeah. You're gonna spend an hour. Yeah. So, well, what is everybody doing? Yeah. So, benefits. So you said you were gonna go look for armor and things for you and Dwayne, or just he said at least a minimum of a day. Um, the uh, I don't remember. I think we moved too quick, but there was a messenger that came to the inn in the morning before you guys left for um, Nagakuta's estate, and the messenger said that yes, the portal won't be open for at least possibly 2 more days. They diverted a lot more of the gray mages to the quarry to decipher and figure out what these obelisks and sigils do. So you guys have 2 days before. and it'll take you 2 days just to get to Eladris by ship. Yeah. Mhm. The ruins of Eladris are not. I mean, they're near the coast, but it's a mile or two trek into the forest near the base of the Veers Range Mountains. It wasn't. It wasn't a temple. It was like some ruins and pillars that you guys met in the forest, kind of thing. So it's not like a temple to. Um, Nubius is not a god that any people have really heard of, let alone knowingly worship. So you're not sure that there would be. Tyrael offers that with the tabards, you guys could probably either charter a ship or get a small boat to take the group of you down the coast pretty easily, if not possibly for free. Okay. Okay. Um, Shinda, is there anything that you're gonna go look for? Okay. Um, Okay. So you guys all split up. Tyrael says that he's going to go find Lily, just at least to say a temporary farewell, especially with him being in prison, for a few days. He hasn't had much time with her. And Mikhail, you head up towards the Dawnspire Keep. You make it to the gates, relay a message to one of the retainers. They say the king's super busy trying to help direct on so many fronts between the war, these undead, and everything. They guarantee assure you that they will deliver the message. Satisfied, you head down to the docks. Go ahead and make a diplomacy check for kind of searching out. While you're doing that, Benefisto, you find you go up to the Merchant's Row, and there's all kinds of leathersmiths, armor smiths. You find a couple of places that have saddles, and they spend about 2 hours tailoring some armor to Dwayne, and you're able to find the armor that you need and exotic saddle to fit Dwayne. And that's all in the book. I can help you if you need to, but there's multipliers for the weight and cost in there. Um, Mikhail, you find uh, a very kicked back drinking captain who you very deftly convince him to take you and your comrades on a short trip up the coast. You're looking for something for the king, as with Gutwad, you have your tabard, and in his semi-inebriated state, he says, "Okay, sure thing," and he says, "There's a row ship that." A keel ship that has a sail and oars as well, if needed, and you're able to, um, and they'll take you up the coast as soon as you're ready. And Ishinda, you head out to the arcane district up in Highguard, where a lot of the high-end magical items and casters are that sell wares. And you find a. Go ahead and make a diplomacy check as well to search out. James, did you hear what I said about the armor? I didn't see his BR. Okay. You've. No worries. So you, you do find a armor smith who tailors some armor to Dwayne. The multipliers for the cost and weight are in the player handbook, so just find what you need. It's pretty easy to find. Ishinda, it takes you a little while. You're not, because of your homeland, you're not really aware of much magical things, so you kind of get pointed in the wrong direction as you ask around, and it takes you about 3 hours to find somebody who's then able to enchant what you need, but you do finally find somebody. Um, um, but yes, so 1,000 gold, you can get your armor enchanted for a +1. Yeah. All right. So you guys Not entirely sure where you were supposed to convene. It takes you a little while. Um, a couple of you meet up at the Halls of Knowledge. Benefisto, you send up Dwayne to try and gather people, and you guys all meet down at the docks around noon, 1 o'clock. Oh, do we lose Michael? Yeah. Yeah. I just unplugged mine. I'm not even gonna bother with it. Yeah, no, it'll be an exotic saddle, and the details are also in the player handbook. Um, yeah, for a large creature, it's like 4 times the cost, or I don't remember. You'll have to look. I can send out some emails if need be. Yeah. Um, so you guys gather. Andy, you have your horse, or do you have your horse? Okay. One thing the Gutwad also has Mikhail. You go back to the Bearhead, and he also has a riding dog, surprisingly, with a saddle. I think seeing you guys all with mounts, he decided that he also needed to join the party of mounts. So, Gu- gather. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Ah, yes. So go ahead. Who are you gonna give this to? Like a city guard or some random person on the road? The scouts? Okay. Okay. So you write up a little missive and pay like 1 copper to a little boy um, to run it up to the Castigan Scouts, along with depositing the journal. You guys all convene down at the docks. Finally, as you guys had all kind of split up. Um, the captain has regained his senses. You could tell he's no longer inebriated. He must have stopped and had some coffee. There's a crew of 4 people with him to man the boat. It's just kind of it's not a big boat, but it's big enough for you guys and your animals, which at this point is starting to get a sizable party. But keel boats, they have a lower level to store things, and the animals are happy to go below. And they head out of the port, um, and you guys head out onto the. I moved all of our mounts and companions to the companions and followers folder in the journal. So that's the pack horse, Gutwad. I actually and I think so too. Yeah. I do have something to talk to you about, Andy, that I'll send you an email. But I think you'll like it. So you guys head out on the waters. No, no, you really like it. The the ocean seems pretty calm. You guys get a little bit down the coast and around one of the um, little rock outcroppings. Castigan disappears behind you. As you guys are kind of all sitting, just enjoying the ocean and the lapping of the waves. Andy, go ahead and make your heal checks. Tyrael, he asked you guys. He hadn't had a chance to talk about his mom to you guys before, and he asks if she had said anything or told you guys anything because his bow is acting strange. It was a gift from her, and usually gifts from nymphs hold power, and he'd never really seen the kind of power that was demonstrated this last battle with Valix. Some strange things were happening, and he wasn't entirely sure what was going on. The only thing that she'd given you was a feather token that it turns into a little bird to deliver a message, but she hadn't said anything specifically. No. Yeah, to send her a message when he was free that he was safe and okay. so, so you guys right up. Tyrael writes up a little note, and you guys wind up sending off the bird, and it disappears off into the distance. And Tyrael goes ahead and makes a spellcraft check on the bow because he can't figure out what's going on with it. Let's see if. Oh, boom.
Come on. Don't you want to go play with your friends? You have friends over.
Okay.
Come on. Let's go put this out here with the other car friends. Come on.
No, you needed a 20.
Hi. Jesse, come on. Yeah. Bye bye, Papa. Bye bye, Papa. Tell Papa bye bye. Say see you later, Papa. Papa will still be there.
So yeah, um, go ahead. Uh, Tyrael finds that his bow somehow gained the property of, um, where's it at? That was. I did. I did. Um, it is. It, it's been added a lesser designating enchantment that adds +2 to attack for any melee damage, attack and damage against melee targets for 1 round. So anyone in melee that Tyrael shoots, whoever attacks with a melee weapon gets +2 to attack and damage versus. Um, and as Tyrael thinks about it, he realizes that maybe because of the obelisks, they were suppressing um, her blessing on the weapon because he had been given the weapon when he was younger, and um, he'd never he'd never really used it until she was captured. And after he went and sought her out, was when he took that bow that she had given him. So now that she's probably not under the effects of the obelisk, some of the additional power that she had bestowed upon it are probably coming in view. Okay. You guys travel for about 2 hours on the ocean, and you guys are having these conversations, and um, you're not super paying attention, and until you kind of look up and realize that the entire ship is just enveloped in fog, and you kind of start hearing the sounds of a storm approaching from some direction. As you start hearing rain and lightning in the distance. Um, yes. And the boat starts rocking, and the waves are getting bigger and bigger. The captain doesn't seem concerned at first, and within 10 minutes, the boat is being tossed about. The crew starts pulling down all of the sails. They're battening down all of the barrels on deck, anything that might flow overboard. Everybody make reflex saves. The animals are below, so don't worry about your. Dang! Oh, nice. So this huge wave comes over the side of the deck and just envelops the whole ship. The whole ship almost disappears for a second, and as all the water flows back out the sides of the ship, you actually realize that one of the deckhands is gone, just gone. Um, and as another huge wave crests over the side, it starts coming towards you, and you recognize in what little light there's an insane shadow peering through the waves. Um, at the same time, um, Jack, who's looking the other way, doesn't see this. He points up in the sky and says, "What the fuck is that?" And you guys turn and look up, and in the clouds are swirling together in this giant swirl of lightning strikes and chaos. And this face starts to appear through the clouds. Yeah, sorry. How's that? Is that Yeah, so this it swirls together, and this face starts to come out of the clouds. As as you're looking up and you're seeing this body form from the clouds and lightning itself, you look off to the other side of the boat, and the body that was beneath the waves rises out, and it's this woman dressed almost in this swirling torrent of waves and water, just mist pouring off of her, and they both are just opposed to each other, and they they open their mouths at the same time, and when they speak, the same voice just echoes insanely over the sound of the waves and lightning.
Now that you have seen the growing evil, know that more is at stake than just those that live within the reach of Sindara. Unless stopped, the being known to you as Nubius will consume all life on Valoron, becoming a god in his own right. We began to see the traces of the growing corruption of death, but it is not within nature to seek out a fight. But Pharasma, the goddess of fate, came to us and showed us that by the time we would be forced to fight, the battle would already be lost. Sarenrae, the goddess of redemption and healing, saw each of you and the corruption you were headed towards. She sought to put you all on a new path to redemption. Thus, we three, with Pharasma's guidance, planted an idea in the one known as Nubius, to gather 6 mortals and search for Pharasma's broken trident. We obscured your memories to save each of you from the growing corruption in your souls, and to focus your efforts on the quest before you. Benefisto.
And the both eyes focus in on you, Benefisto, and you feel overwhelmed with just pure power. And you know this 100% to be the god Gozreh, the god of nature, which is a dualistic uh, personality that personifies itself in the ocean and the sea and the storms, and it turns its like just piercing gaze on you.
Benefisto. You have begun anew your old corruption. Be wary. With Nubius's stain on each of you, the corruption in your souls will manifest it if you let it grow. And it will never go away until Nubius is dead. Revenge burns bright in many of your eyes. But under the cloak of justice, this corruption will consume you to nothing. In others, I see the longing for acceptance. But acceptance at what cost? A final dark shadow lies across one of you. And if this corruption consumes you, it will consume all of you. You, Benefisto, you have been chosen to be nature's avatar. But you tout nature's justice as if it's an excuse for your actions to kill as you please. There's no justice without law, and nature knows no law. In nature, the strong survive on the weak, and in return, life is created from death. Does the mouse seek out the snake Because the snake killed its mate? No. Your pride in your own justice has made you weak, as you cannot see what is truly evil, and seeking to consume you. The evil that grows across the land has its own law. Death, created from all life. And it is against this evil you have been set. You have all been set. Haveron is still our child, and his body has been twisted, unable to continue life's cycle. Reclaim and rebury his body, so it may sprout life anew. But do not feed the corruption in you by seeking vengeance. All of you follow the path to the trident, and you will find your past and your future. You are the heroes chosen by fate, set on a path for your own redemption, and you guard the last breaths of life. You must not fail.
And as the last words echo in the storm, the clouds and the waves almost just consume into one another and dissipate at just this fervent pace. And the boat is left on calm, almost glass-like seas. And as you guys look around, you realize that you are nowhere near where you were. And Michael, go ahead and make a perception check as you just kind of peer over the sides of the... uh, Andy, you started to say something? You broke up? Andy? Yeah, you said something, you broke up. Hmm. uh, um, for the first time, Shinda, you actually you're looking at the shore and still in this like fog of what the fuck just happened. Um, you kind of spot something a little out of place. There's a the beach that you're near is it's kind of uh, what you would assume would be a pretty good place to land. But what's strange is you notice that there's almost a hole cut in the tree line near the beach, and it's very uh, noticeable to you. Mikhail and Benefisto, you're so wrapped up in the the fact that a god just appeared and spoke to you. You're kind of beside yourself. Okay. And as you start pointing this out to the crew, Michael, you kind of snap out of it and start listening and look over and you realize that that is very much the signs of the landing of the Uraki, and Gozreh deposited you right here. Okay. So you kind of alert everybody, and hey, I think we're here. Um, and some of the crew are a little like super stunned, and they're not entirely sure what to make of this entire situation. Um, and so you guys are directing them to beach. That was a question. You guys want to go ashore here? Okay. um, he kind of he's like wide-eyed, and like he just lost a crew member over the side of his boat, doesn't know where the hell they are, and apparently you guys are important enough that gods are speaking to you. Can you guys hear? It's one per level. Jeez, yeah, that my whole audio driver just crashed. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, yeah, it sucks. Um, so, Ashinda, I'm guessing that's looking around on the beach. Your perception?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. um,
Some
so
work. Mama will do some work with you. Come on. Come on. Come on.
no, that's fine. So as soon as you guys are watching as the boat like pretty much turns around and starts heading back out to the bay, you guys all turn and look towards the tree line just as a uh, a couple dozen female orcs brandishing these jagged looking bardishes and covered in these blood red tattoos come out of the thicket and surround you guys. One of the women happily kind of exclaims,
Mikhail, what are you doing here? You've been banished. And then
she catches glances from some of the others and starts over in a much more serious tone.
you've been banished. You come to your death.
And they kind of silently all just kind of surround you and point you towards the tree line and the like large hole in the trees and kind of nudge you to start walking. Son of a. uh, so the the party. Is the music too loud? It's starting to kind of come back that you were told to leave and never come back, that you might have caused the the whole tribe some misfortune. Actually, no. So the party's led a couple hundred yards through the tunnel in the trees. As you guys crest the last hill, you can kind of see this faint wisp of smoke rising out of the canopy. And as you get closer, there's like more and more little wisps of smoke from campfires, it seems. At the base of the hill, the trees give way to a little clearing. And you guys see about 150 tents that, upon closer inspection, look more like upturned boats that are being used as tents. And one giant-looking boat that's been bastardized into a wagon at the center. They usher you closer, you see a platform that sticks off of this large wagon, and from the ledge, there's about a half dozen mutilated orcs hanging by various body parts. And as you're brought before the platform, you 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 also notice what looks like several altars with naked male orcs lashed to them. And one of the altars has a orc woman covered in the same blood tattoos, riding the male. And with the gathering of the people, she kind of nonchalantly stops, gets down, and picks up another one of the jagged-looking bardishes that's on the ground, and joins in on your escort. Um, Looking around, you see the what? What'd you say, Andy? um, Looking around, the Uraki banner hangs from many places, and Micaiah, you recognize this very, very promptly as the harp of the speakers of the word um, that adorn pretty much every tent, banner, anything around that bears these symbols. We'll give him a sec. Mm-hmm. One of the spellcasters should, yeah. You recognize the Uraki symbol, the blood harp for the speakers of the word, and this adorns like every tent and banner that's around. You also look around and realize that there's really no males anywhere, um, besides maybe a smattering of children and some elderly. Each of you can feel just burning eyes from all of these orcs and just this overwhelming sensation of hatred. And as you guys get before this large bastardized wagon, a sizable ashen gray green orc steps out onto the platform. He looks surprisingly young, especially for a chieftain. Mikhail, you recognize him as uh, one of the receivers. A lot of the speakers of the word would go out into the world, especially any of the half orcs, and identify cities that were good for plundering. And he was one of the receivers for all of these messenger birds. Um, and You think for a second, you remember him to be his name to be Yurig Borgan. And he's got matted black hair and pieces of bone tied to various strands, and he's got one missing eye. And he growls this deep, low rumble as he sees you approaching.
I thought I told you, stay away or die. I guess you prefer death. What brings your pitiful existence back?
No, let's go fix our own toy. Come on. Yes.
Sure, we can get past you causing over 3/4 of the tribe to die at the hands of an entire war garrison. I think the best way to get over it is to let the maidens kill you.
And with that, the women carrying the bardishes, they turn you and shove you all into a pit that's fairly close to the wagon, and 6 of them jump down into the pit with you. Um, I've got Jack, Mikhail, Shinda. I don't need a guard officer, the shaman, the monster hunter. Actually, yeah. Everybody re-roll your initiative because I didn't clear the tokens from before. Sorry. And of course my sound thing cut out again. One sec. There we go. Man. No, bard a bard a bardiche is not a guisarme. Yeah, the bardiches, they are bladed pole arms, but not um, they're not tripping weapons. Let's, and, and it is slowly coming back to you that but you're still a little hazy on the details. Uh, and oh, did I have? Okay. So just as you guys start getting to your feet from getting shoved in here, this um, Mikhail, you remember them to be called ferocious maidens. They are um, they are the elite warriors of your tribe. The speakers of the word were almost created to chronicle their tales and deeds, and usually they don't even participate in the raiding. because they don't feel it to be a challenge. Um, so. All right. And here we go. All right. So this first one, she she just like rages. You just watch her muscles tense and start to pulse, and the tattoos almost start to ooze this bloody looking liquid. Um, and she runs full force and actually attacks you, Michael. Bard. Yes, Bard tank. All right. And what's your AC? Um, the Bardiche just comes flying at you, straight at your chest, and a little startled, you block it out of the way. Um, Following that, this maiden also just starts to scream in anger, runs up here, and lets out a blow at you, Benefisto. Am I the only one not hearing music? Yeah, it was just me then. It's interesting. Da, 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 da. What's your AC? This the Bardiche comes flying. You go. You're still getting to your feet, trying to find your club and pull it out, and she just catches you square in the chest, gashing a big bloody cut across your pecs, dealing 16 points of damage. Uh, this one also steps forward and leashes a blow on you, Ashinda. Um, but with your new gleaming plate armor, the blade catches you in the chest, but then just scrapes right off the shoulder past you unharmed. Jack, um, not entirely sure what the hell's going on. Decides that fuck it, it's time to just kill things. Um, he he pulls out his musket. Um, oh damn! And and this maiden, she doesn't have a whole lot of armor on. They're kind of clothed in this like semi-hard boiled leather patchwork. Seems like it's made up of just a bunch of crap they've taken from villages and things from around the area, and it just hits her square in the shoulder where there's no armor, and you hear this crack as her collarbone just breaks. 16. Nope, that's 17 plus 1 to attack. 17. Um, this maiden runs up as well and lashes out at you, Ashinda. Um, this one, however, does. Just as you're trying to peel off from the side, she catches you right in the ribs. It doesn't pierce through the armor, but it's such a hard, pissed off blow that it actually, the armor breaks one of your ribs, and you feel it as the air pops out of your lungs, and you're dealt 15 points of damage. Um, Tyrael pulls out his bow. Uh, 15 points of damage, yes. And he decides, fuck these things, and shoots this one. Um, and the arrow uh, sinks into her ribs, and this little spurt of blood kind of comes out from the wound. Um, and as the arrow hits, her whole body kind of envelops in this greenish white glow. It's kind of faint, but it almost outlines her as if giving you a perfect target. Uh, minus 10. Nope, minus 11. Gutwad, realizing that he can't exactly um, do much in this battle as far as sneaking, since he's just out in the open, he pulls out a little short bow and fires at the one attacking you, Mikhail. Um, and it hits her right in the leg. She doesn't even seem to notice it. Um, the one directly in front of you, Ashinda, that um, Tyrael had hit. Your microphone's muted, Andy. She lashes out at you, and as you're trying to recover from the blow to your ribs, she catches you right in the face mask and snaps your head back, and deals 12 points of damage as you feel the blade cut up into your cheek just through the helmet. Benefisto. All right. Which one? The one on the left or the right? That one? Okay. So this ant just apparates out of the ether, kind of catching this maiden off guard, as she's got her pole arm extended out, and it lunges up, kind of catches her in a couple of his legs and bites her with his little pinchers. So Dwayne swoops over, uh, beats his wings, and she has to like try and use her the pole that she's holding to block the wings, thinking that that's what's going to attack her. But then his claws rake her right down the chest, and 6 little lines of blood appear down her shoulders and chest. Damn. Shinda. Okay. No, you can use a cleave. All right. So with that's two. So your first one is a crit, um, and with your second attack. Okay, so the first attack, you step forward and draw your blade in one smooth motion, and just head down in this like just single attack straight out. The blade cuts through her throat, and her head like lolls to the side. That is 32 plus. What's your? It was plus three, so 35. Yes, she's dead. So yeah, her just this gout of blood just as the blade goes through it, and she crumples forward. Your second tack, you just turn and slice at the one next to her, also hitting her, and this time you cut down her the side of her ribs on her back and just open up this huge gash down the side. Minus 19. Um, yeah, correct. But you don't take the AC penalty, so Mikhail. Okay. In-